Good morning, everybody, my dear entrepreneur ladies. So I am Fatima, the founder of Bioenergy, and welcome on this platform. So for those who doesn't know me, I am helping women to enhance their energy, but also to help them to find their right ideal balance between their personal and professional life. And I want them to be at their best, so that's why I'm here. And I'm using the principal method is Ayurveda, which is an Indian science, and it's all about a holistic approach where I help them to set up some nice ritual in the morning and to really start to take care of themselves so they can be at their best in their life, but also in their work. So every month we have an interview on Bioenergy platform. I always like to interview different women with different energy. And this month I have my special guest, Marie-Louise Pawsey. She's the founder of Successfully Singles. So for all of you ladies who are singles, I think it will be interesting for you to pay attention to this interview and to really see if you can see, in Marie-Louise some kind of inspiration that she can give you some tips and who knows, maybe to work with her. So Marie-Louise, thank you so much for accepting this interview on this channel. So maybe you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me. It's a real privilege. So I am all about helping the single women of the world who want to have a better life than they've got now. So sometimes we know that we're living just a little bit below what we could be living, or we know we're living way under it. And I want to help you get the tools to expand, explore, improve your life. It can be an amazing life. Being single doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I want to help you live it in a really big, beautiful, successful way.
Yeah, and it's possible. So I know that with unleashing all, removing all the beliefs and everything, they can be at their best, even being single. So Marie-Louise, what is it that drives you? What is your source of energy?
Oh gosh, I think that for me it's because I know that I haven't always lived my best life, and when I realized that I wasn't, it was a huge life-changing moment. And I think that sometimes we women wait for something to happen. We're not waiting, but until somebody dies or until something life-changing happens, until we're ill or something like that, we're just happy to mosey along, and we're not making conscious decisions in our lives. We're not planning. We don't want to plan too far ahead. We're worried that we'll disappoint ourselves. So we push a lot of things down. And so I've been inspired by realizing that I wasn't living my life. So in a way I inspired myself, which is a strange thing to do, or it might sound strange to hear. But you don't always have to have external inspiration. Sometimes you can just be living your life and realize this isn't what I want. I want better for myself, and I'm letting myself down. So I've inspired myself. I must say it did happen. I'll give you a little bit of context to that. For a year or so, I was working in a job where I was registering death certificates. So I was seeing people at the very end of their life. Obviously, I was putting together the information from their life to go on their death certificate. And what I saw was things like single, never married, no children. And I thought that the more of those I saw, I thought, what do I want to see on my death certificate? And it occurred to me that at that time, it would say divorced, no children. And I just thought that there's more to me than that. And I can't change what'll be on my certificate, but I can change what I actually live. And so I started doing it.
Wow. That's a very great insight. Yeah, bigger, like realization. Yeah, I understand, because there is this kind of sense of urgency also saying, okay, if I'm going to die or something, how I want to be remembered or how I want to be living my life. So that's super, super great. That could be seen something like returning to make it more a drive for you to say, okay, I want to do something different, how I want to live it at its fullest. So that's great. So, Marie-Louise, do you have a morning ritual that you do that keep you spark and always smiling and laughing?
Well, I wake up like this, which is kind of crazy. I'm not a morning person generally, but I like to sleep as late as I can. When I was working full time, I was very strict. I had, I think, 35 minutes that I'd get up, get showered, get dressed, get out the door.
Wow.
And I managed to get that time down because I don't think time in the morning spent just faffing about in the house is productive time. These days, that's all I want to do. But in those days, I had a mission. I had to be at the station at a certain time and start my day. But now I like to laze in bed as long as I can. I don't have my phone on. I have it on overnight, so I've got the time if I need to see the time. But I turn off all Wi-Fi. I can't see anything. I don't check it during the night if I can avoid it. And I get up and I just get going. I don't drink coffee or tea. I don't do yoga. I do like to go for a walk in the mornings if I can. And I usually like to do that before I turn on my laptop. Yeah. I really like to have a little time for myself and just get out there. And I'm not necessarily a big intention setter, but while I'm walking, I get a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas, memories come back to me. And when I get back to my desk, I've usually got a list of things that I want to get started on from having seen things when I've been out and about. So that's probably the best way I can start my day, is just go for a walk and look after myself in that way.
Yeah, that's great, because it doesn't matter what you do. In fact, it's very important. It's that moment of time for yourself that you give to yourself, compared to when you were working full time and you were saying that you had only 30 minutes to get ready and just to get ready for work, and everything was in a rush. But now at least you have that moment to prepare yourself to enter in your work world. And so I think it's very important.
It is. And in fact, I was just remembering that I used to get the train really, really early because I'd like to get to the city early, but then I would usually walk. So actually my morning walk has been in my routine for longer than I realized.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd get to the city, I'd walk for about half an hour and then I'd go to work. I'd sometimes get, I worked in all sorts of places across Melbourne, and sometimes I'd get off 2 or 3 stations early and walk the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So I love to walk. I love to get out and see the world. And I would hate to think that anybody is just getting up, going to work, coming home, going to bed, getting up, going to work, coming home, going to bed. You know, there needs to be more in your day than that.
Yes, definitely. And also it's also the privilege also to be an entrepreneur and to be able to design your life the way you want it to be, in order for you to be, you know, fulfilled at 100%.
Yeah, and you're right, because I know what I want to have in my day now. I know that I need some me time, some fresh air, some sunshine. Sunshine is actually probably a huge source for me. I really love to get out. And in fact, no matter how busy I am these days, I have a break at 4 till 4:30. There's a spot in my backyard that is the perfect spot for that time of the day, where my legs get a little bit of sun, but my upper half doesn't. So I can read, I can look at, you know, watch things on my laptop if I want to, and I'm partly shaded, but I'm getting just enough sunshine. And, you know, we live in Australia, so it's important to be careful with that sort of thing.
Yes, definitely. So, but that's the great things about, you know, the work you do, and to be able to allow yourself those moments of pleasure for yourself, to be able also to feel yourself so you can give to others. So that's great.
Well, I used to just work all day and all night, and it's just not sustainable. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And also being my my work means that I can start later. I don't feel the need to start right on 9 o'clock or anything, but that means I go a bit later, which also means that I'm available when other people are available. But sometimes I'm still trying to work and they're having chit chats with me. So I know that there are times when I'm not able to concentrate as much as I'd like, and I'm not able to actually have me time. So carving out that time in the middle of the afternoon, well, it's the middle of my afternoon, works really well, because people don't know I'm on that break, but I don't even take my phone outside most of the time.
Yeah.
I'll take a book and a glass of water or something, and that's it.
Yeah.
And sit outside with my cats. And I think, especially when you're early on in the business, you can really tend to just work too hard.
Yeah.
Got a million things to do, but you still have to have that little me time.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So what are, now, as we move forward in these questions, what have been your challenges as an entrepreneur, working for yourself and starting your own things? So what did you meet as challenges? Did you have any difficulties or?
Gosh, there are so many difficulties that you have when you're starting out. And I think one of the main ones for me, which is actually reflected in my business as well, is the solitude and the loneliness. You can not really know if you're on the right path and you don't have anybody to ask. My business is such a different one. It's not cookie cutter. I mentioned yoga as an example. There are yoga studios out there. One owner could go to another and ask for help and see how they went. Mine is not like that. So I've had to learn to go it on my own. I don't lack confidence generally, but my confidence is tested, and that's an interesting thing for me too. So knowing that I don't know everything, knowing who to find out from, which is really hard, and being ready to put yourself out there and not get the response that you want is another one that's really hard. But fortunately for me, I'm very good at networking. And so I like a conversation and I like to meet people. And so that's been really helpful for me, because I think that's a big challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes.
Fortunately, I've been okay with that one.
Yeah, that's great, because it's true what you said. And I talked to so many different women and they all said the same thing than you. The loneliness was one of the number 1, 2 who came out during the interview, and they all said the same thing. Like, the challenge is to go out there and your confidence is being tested because you are all by yourself and trying to figure out, if it's the right channel to take but there is always like this. Everybody has this unique power. Like for you is to be able to network, to be, to go out there and not having any problem to go and networking. So that's really a great tool for you to, but definitely, when you start your business, it's not going to be an easy journey, but also it's important also to trust our intuition, our gut, and knowing that we are exactly where we need to be, I think,
Yeah, and look, I think that comes with time, because you don't want to go too far down a path hoping and trusting and praying that you're on the right path and then find out that you've just wasted a lot of years.
Yeah.
So it's about learning, getting somebody into your circle who you can trust, but who you can also rely on to say, I don't think that's right. And you have to listen to them and be willing to listen to them and understand where they come from, because they have to have your best interest at heart and they have to know how much you put into it, but also that it'll help you to stop where you are and maybe change tack or reassess or maybe look at another way of doing things. So having somebody like that is really helpful, and it's good to find somebody like that if you can.
Yeah. Definitely someone to be able, that you can trust also, that you can definitely. Yeah. So if you had one advice that you could give to our ladies here that are listening to this interview, what would it be?
that would be don't delay. If you've got an idea, go for it. The business plan that I've got at the moment, my concept is about 4 years in the making. And I feel that I probably could have done it earlier. I know I wasn't ready. I had a lot more to learn, but I could have done it earlier. I could have pushed myself and I didn't. So don't sit thinking, oh, maybe I'll do this in the future. Maybe there's a better time. Just get started. Do something. Even if it's just putting the idea out there or starting to promote yourself. You don't necessarily have to have a business name or a really strong concept just yet. Just start putting yourself out there, because all the times you do that will help you later on. My confidence is because I've been doing this for a long time. I have no problem going on camera. I don't worry about some of the things. I have a strong, thick skin. Things still affect me, of course, but most of it I've just learned to brush off. And you do that by starting. You won't get there without getting on the path and walking.
Yeah, definitely. So the more you get the experience to practice, and the more you get confidence, you gain the confidence.
Yeah, that's right. And a piece of advice that I give, in fact, I put it out there quite a lot, is a hashtag I made up, which is people don't matter until they do. Now, those words themselves don't necessarily make a lot of sense, but the point of it is that you need to figure out in life who matters and who doesn't. And there are times where people are giving you their opinion and they don't matter. For instance, if a guy is giving me an opinion on my business, I'm not that bothered because he's not my target audience. I want to hear from women. I'm happy to have their feedback. But why would I sit here and get all upset about an opinion of a man when he's not the person I'm trying to serve or sell to? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, great. So great answer, focus on what's, really matters for you and stay in that track and to be able to keep going. Yeah. I love it, Marie-Louise. So in terms of your work, I know you're working a lot now on your membership and everything. So where can we, if the women wants to get to know you more, want to work with you, where can we find you?
So if you're on Facebook, that's probably the best place to find me at the moment. So you could go to facebook.com/successfully single secrets. That's my page. And from there, you'll find links to my website, my membership, or you can just search me with this name and add me as a friend. I'm really happy to get to know as many women as possible and hear about your lives through your own posts. And you can see about mine too, because I'm really careful to live the life that I'm trying to put out to the world. I don't want to live a fake life. I want to actually live a really good life. And if that's what you want to, then come with me and we'll go there together.
I love it. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Marie-Louise. So you heard Marie-Louise. So if you are, willing and committed to live a real life and something that works for you and that is really bringing you to another level, go and check Marie-Louise Pawsey, because she's really, really inspiring, and she has this great energy and she has this authenticity about her that is really, really, very rare also, because sometimes you can find different person, but with who, if it resonates with you, just go with her. So and
I'd love that.
Yeah, and so in the same time, if you need also to find your balance between your personal and professional life, if you feel like you want to regain your energy and you try to find a different approach, a holistic approach with Ayurveda, you can contact me also on www.beyourenergy.com. So thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon, Marie-Louise, and can't wait to hear, more about all the work that are going to evolve in this membership that you are developing. So that's super great.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
Thanks for being with me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.